Okay, welcome to all participants in the International Veterinary Webinar Series Session 16. Myself, Dr. Sontake Umesh Balaji, Zonal Secretary, Indian Veterinary Association and Coordinator of IVA Webinar Series. And along with me, Dr. Yashpal Malik Sir, Principal Scientist, IVRI, Coordinator of this webinar. And also with me, Dr. M.K. Shrikant. He is also one of the coordinator of this program, and he is a Joint Secretary of Indian Veterinary Association. Along with me, Dr. Chirantan Kadian, who is the President of Indian Veterinary Association and Counselor of World Veterinary Association. Today, we have a special guest, Professor R.S. Chauhan sir, from the College of Veterinary and Animal Science, GB Pantnagar. So may I request Dr. Malik sir, please coordinate the today's session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umesh. And before I go with the very important lecture on environmental pollution and their effects on human and animal health, I convey to every veterinarian and every person who is associated with this seminar a very happy World Environment Day. We all are celebrating this Environment Day because we have seen some of the bad impacts. In past, we are suffering with the problem of global warming. Environment plays a very important role in our lives, in humans as well as in animals. We are custodians of, as a being veterinarian, we are custodians of all the livestock health. So environment playing a very important role globally, and its protection is our mandate. We have to work for it, and the awareness started about the World Environment Day nearly 48 years back with the first conference that was held in Stockholm, Sweden in 1972. And it was decided that humans have to work for the protection of the environment. And after 2 years, in 1974, the Environment Day was celebrated, and the theme was kept as that the whole earth is one. Only one earth was the theme of that first, and today's theme of the Environmental Day is the air pollution. We all know that how the situation becomes grave throughout the country, and many of the countries, not only in India. Certain period of the winters we have seen how badly everyone suffers, and government is forced to take some actions so that it can be minimized. So this is very important, and we are lucky that we have today with us the expert who is my teacher also. I'm lucky to introduce or say a few words about Professor Chauhan. I think when I joined my veterinary graduation studies at CCS HAU Hisar, he was my teacher that time. And since that time, I am in touch with him, and with all blessings of Professor Chauhan, I am associated with him as editor-in-chief of the journal, the society which Professor Chauhan is running, journal, the Society of Immunology, Immunopathology, and the journal which is Journal of Immunology, Immunopathology. I am editor-in-chief of that since last 7 years. It is run from my side, along with the guidance of Professor Chauhan. So I am very thankful to Professor Chauhan for giving the time and being available on this important day to tell the youth and our participants on introduce to the house and the participants that what he is really a genius person, I should consider. He has been to a very preliminary post positions at IVRI. He was the joint director of IVRI. Then he acted as a director of the IVRI for quite number of time. Then he was director of the Institute of Biotechnology at Patwardhangar, Nainital. He has been the National Fellow, that is a very prestigious position from ICAR. And then on several managerial positions, he served the IVRI as well as the Pantnagar University. He, from his graduation or from his academics, he was the brilliant student and later on the assistant professor, associate professor, a number of the positions he has served. He has been the member of the WHO. He has been with the Ministry of Science and Technology for advising on some issues. And one of the most important thing that I want to let everyone know, that he is the man who goes with the cow therapy. So many publications are from his side, which shows that how important are our indigenous cow. So he is the man with Panchagavya, cow therapy, and it is very useful. And what the literature that has been published by Professor Chauhan speaks about it. So not going with much, though there is lot of things to tell about him, I request Professor Chauhan to please have his today's concept on environment, pollution and impact for the participants of today's seminar. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Yashpal. I am thankful to Indian Veterinary Association for giving me this opportunity to talk to you people on this very important day, World Environment Day. And at the very outset, I must congratulate or must extend my gratitude and thanks on the occasion of World Environment Day. My topic, as Dr. Yashpal told, that environmental pollution and its effect on human and animal health. Actually, whenever there is a concern of environment or environmental pollution, that is most of the time related with the forest, with the scarcity of the trees, plantation of the trees, the increased temperature of the earth, and that led to the migration of the wild people or several kinds of the vectors from the forest area, jungle area, to the human inhabitations. And of course, many times we talk about the destruction or damage to the ozone layer, the impact of UV rays on the animals and human beings, increased temperature, and resultantly coming out of many new infectious agents in our environment. With this, I will also add something about the environmental pollution, which many times we overlook. The story starts when I graduated from the Pantnagar University, and after my master's I joined Haryana Agricultural University Hisar as assistant professor. And at that time I was given the duty of assistant disease investigation officer, means to investigate the disease outbreaks in animals in the Haryana state. On very first outbreak, when I visited the district Bhiwani, we found that several buffaloes and camels, they were having lameness in their hind legs. I was not aware of it. I discussed it with my seniors over there. It was all because of the phosphorus deficiency. And when we gave the phosphorus treatment, those animals recovered. And this phosphorus deficiency, when we came to know that it is in the fodder, it is in the grains, and it is because of the phosphorus deficient soil. And why that soil becomes deficient in the phosphorus content? It is because of, hello? It is because of,
Please continue.
it is because of the heavy use of nitrogenous based fertilizers because of the green revolution. And that because of the urea and all nitrogenous based fertilizers, and because of the competition in the soil uptake by the crops, soil become deficient in the phosphorus, and that's why resultantly it is causing some problems like pica, like rheumatism like syndrome, which I discussed, and like post-parturient hemoglobinuria in animals. At that time, when I used to visit my village, then several villagers, my uncles, granduncles, grandfathers, when they used to assemble in the evening on hookah party, they many times they discuss that खाने पीने की चीजों में वो वाली बात नहीं रह गई. Means they used to tell that there is something different in the food items which is not giving them a taste. I always thought that what is that deficiency or that difference in the food of their time and food items grown in the present situation of the agriculture farming. And I found that most of the time we used either the pesticide or the chemical fertilizers, and I thought that it may affect the taste, it may affect the food quality. So I started doing experiments on pesticides because I found in the literature that many pesticides, they remain in the food crop for several hours, several days, several weeks, and several months. And because of the industrialization and urbanization, our croppable land, agriculture usable land is decreasing day by day. And land is limited, and by that limited land, we have to produce sufficient amount of the grains, pulses, and oil for the ever increasing people requirement of the food. And that's why we entered in the chemicalization of the agriculture by the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. And these chemical fertilizers and pesticides, they remain in the food chain, in the fodder, in the grains, in the pulses, and they affect adversely our health. First, we will discuss the pesticides. These pesticides are used in the crops. These are insecticides, fungicides, weedicides, herbicides, or rodenticides. Chemically, they are classified as organochlorines, organophosphates, carbamates, or synthetic pyrethroids. Nowadays, there are several others biological pesticides or pest repellents are there, which are of microbial or botanical origin. If you see the use of the pesticides in the crops, in crop, they comes to the either directly to the human beings or to the animals, and then ultimately they come in to the human beings, because the man is the ultimate consumer of all those things and the residues also. One study was carried out in Haryana itself in a particular area, that if we use the pesticide in a particular area, suppose it is 1 part in the plant, it is 3 times more in the animal population of that area and 5 times more in the human population of that area. At that time, my colleagues in the basic science college who were working on the residues of the pesticides in the crops and in the animal tissues, in the human tissues, human milk, they recorded the presence of DDT, DDD, BSC in almost all the food items, grains, pulses, oils, in human blood, even in mother's milk, in eggs, in meat, in milk. Means generally I should say that each and every item of our food is contaminated or polluted with some kind of the pesticide, either 1 or 2 or many, and that is very accumulative stage in the food items that is harmful to the body. What kind of the harms it creates in the body, that I will discuss. First, I will discuss the regions for which there is high level of residue are there in the crops, in the food items. There is indiscriminate use of the pesticides, means if the agricultural scientist recommends that such and such pesticides should be used, many times the farmer used to spray more than required amount of the pesticides. I personally seen several people in the Haryana, in the Western UP, in the Rajasthan, in the Punjab, that one farmer, if it is recommended that in the container of that pesticide spray machine, that is about of 20 liters, and he was told that you have to add only 100 ml of the pesticide in that. When he added the pesticide amount in that container, and then smells it out and say there is smell. हरियाणा में particularly कहते थे कि इसमें तो बास को नहीं आवे, means the smell is not there, so he adds more amount of the concentrated pesticide, and that is many times, 10 times, 20 times more than the recommended dose of the pesticide, and that is being sprayed on the crops. That is all because of the lack of activity, inadequate literature supplied by the manufacturer. Friends, many times if you have seen, I have seen with my own eyes, you must have used the All Out or Good Night in your house. That is also a pesticide, cypermethrin, D-transalethin. This is synthetic pyrethroid group of the pesticides. If you see the pamphlet provided along with the All Out or the क्या कहते हैं इसको, All Out or Good Night tips, then you will find that it is written in so much letters that is not visible with the naked eyes. And we educated people, we are not able even to read it. What talk to the farmers? Farmers cannot read it, so the literature is inadequate and it is not supplied in a proper manner. And another reason is the farmers, they have the competition with the neighbors, with the other competitive farmers, and to increase the production, they used the pesticide levels much higher, frequency is much higher to get more profit. And we lack the safer pesticides, and there are use of the banned pesticides, many pesticides which are harmful to the body, which are banned in the foreign countries. Even then, they are being used in our agriculture. And there is negative role of the development. several times when I was advisor to the WHO, when I attended several meetings or international conferences. I used to talk that when a pesticide or insecticide, it is harmful to the body, to the human beings of US or UK or Canada, why it is not harmful to the people of the India, people of the other Asian or developing countries. Friends, what is the story? That there is a factory of producing the pesticides in the US. They are producing it, using it. When they found that this particular pesticide is becoming the harmful to the population or animal population, they ban that pesticide in their country, but they don't ban their company. That factory or company is continue the production, and those produced pesticides, they are being exported to the developing nations like our country. So this is very negative role of the scientists, of the businessmen or the politicians of the developed nations. And finally, there is a region, man is the ultimate consumer, which I would talk that when you use the pesticide, either in the agriculture or in the animal husbandry or in the public health operations or in your household, it is ultimately consumed by the human beings. Friends, now I come to the harmful effects of those pesticides. There is first immunopathology and immunopathology, that is immunodeficiency. Immunodeficiency means most of the pesticides, they are immunosuppressive in the nature. Means they suppresses the immunity of the animals and human beings. I tested more than 40 pesticides during my 25 years of research on this topic. I started working on these pesticide-induced toxicity in 1991, when there was nobody to support me, and it was the joke that I am wasting my time, because I used to take the dose of the pesticide which the chemist or the chemical scientist says that this is the no observable effect level dose. Means they say that a certain amount of pesticide, if it is going in the body, it will not harm the body. No observable effect level dose, and that is known as Noel dose. I started my experiments in birds, in mice, in rats, in other experimental animals, using that dose of the particular pesticide, starting from the BSc, and I found that exactly there is no reduction in the weight of the animal, no reduction in the working of the animal, but when we measure the immunity level of those animals, that is certainly down regulated. Their WBC count reduces, absolute lymphocyte count, absolute macrophage count, monocyte counts are reduced. The antibody levels, IgG levels, IgM levels, cytokine levels, IL-1, IL-2, the functions of the macrophages are down regulated from the both point of view. The engulfment power and the bactericidal power, both are reduced. The DTH reaction is reduced or down regulated. The T cell reactions, T cell blastogenesis and B cell blastogenesis, they are also down regulated. Means these amount, even a minimal amount, the Noel dose. The Noel dose means no observable effect level dose of the pesticide. It goes in the body of the animals, of the human beings. It is down regulating the immunity of the animals. Means such people, such animal population will become susceptible to the infectious diseases. Sorry. To the recurrent infections will be there. The occurrence of new diseases, the pathogens which are considered to be the mild and which are not able to cause the disease, but when they will find the immunosuppression in the population, they will attack, they will cause the disease. Occurrence of the new diseases, new viruses, new bacteria, they come in the population, they cause the disease, and there will be increased incidence of the cancers or neoplasm or tumors. Because of that research, I became advisor to the WHO. Then I shifted from Hisar to Pantnagar. I became national fellow also from the ICR, and I submitted a detailed project report to the ICR after searching 5-10 years, having the data of nearly 40 pesticides that they are causing immunosuppression or down-regulating the immunity, leading to the immunodeficiency, making the people or the animals highly susceptible to the different kind of the diseases. Friends, if we find that our immunity, is optimum, then we will not get any kind of the disease, particularly the infectious diseases. I will give few examples. The down regulation of the macrophages. As you all know, you are using the antibiotic drugs to control the bacterial infections for the treatment, prevention, and control purposes. And most of the antibiotics, they are bacteriostatic in nature. There are two types of the antibiotics, bacteriostatic and bactericidal. Bactericidal, of course, they kill the bacteria, but the bacteriostatic antibiotics, they do not kill the bacteria, but they suppress their growth. And the remaining bacteria in the body of the host, they are to be removed by the macrophages. Friends, suppose if the macrophages are weak, they are not having the proper engulfment power and proper bactericidal power, then they are not able to eat the bacteria, they are not able to digest the bacteria. And resultantly, when we withdraw the antibiotic therapy, we will find that there is recurrence of the disease. And you will see in the field that many times we use the antibiotic drugs that is not working, or if at all it is working, many times there is recurrent infections. So this is the main reason. Because of those pesticide levels, they cause down regulation of the macrophages. Macrophages are not able to properly engulf or remove the bacteria from the system. Besides immunodeficiency or immunosuppression, these antibiotics, they also cause hepatopathy, damage to the liver. They also cause osteopathy. They cause the demyelination of the nerve fibers. And resultantly, if you see many times from even our groups, from the human population, you will find there are certain people who are ever irritant. There are several people who are having some mental problems, depression, schizophrenia, the irritation, गुस्सा बहुत आता है तमाम लोगों को. All such kind of the problems, they are also related many times because of the neuropathological disorders by the pesticides. Then of course, nephropathy means there is damage to the kidney directly or indirectly. Indirectly means those pesticides which are coming in our body, they are act as haptens, means they are very small molecules. They themselves are not able to produce the antibody response or immune response. But when they bind with certain body proteins, they able to produce immune response. And when a longer period, the antibody and antigens, they are available in the system, they bind and causes the formation of the immune complexes. Friends, these immune complexes are of three types, mainly the large molecules, the medium-sized complexes, the small-sized complexes. The large complexes, they are eaten away by the macrophages and remove the system. And the small size immune complexes, they are removed through the filtration process of the urine. But the medium-sized immune complexes, they remain in the system and they get deposited in several body parts, including the kidney. And if you find the several cases of renal failure in the human beings, most of them may be related with the immune complex mediated glomerulonephritis. And similarly, the reproductive disorders, that is also because of the deposition of the immune complexes. The skin diseases, allergic situations, they are also because of the deposition of the immune complexes. There may be certain types of the congenital defects, certain types of the genetic disorders. In few experiments, I found that the pesticide effects, they remain up to 2 or 3 generations. They are expressed in even in poultry experiments, in chicks, in mice, it is in the baby mice. So mainly my concern is for the immunodeficiency, means there is immunosuppression because of these pesticides, they are present in the food chain. And at the present time also, if you see the COVID-19 disease, means caused by coronavirus infection, in this also, several experts always say that if your immunity is strong, then of course this virus attack will not be there, and if at all there will be attack, that will be very mild and it will not cause any mortality. So the maintenance of the immunity of the individuals, whether it is animal or it is human being, is very important. And since our food chain, food items are contaminated with these kinds of the chemicals, we have to be very careful to use them and to supplement or to overcome that pesticidal effects. We can use several kinds of the herbs or other things. As I told that because of these pesticide residues in the population, because of the suppression of the immunity, there may be occurrence of the new diseases, there may be occurrence of the cancers also. What could be the remedies for that? We have the ever increasing population of the human beings. We have to feed their stomach. We have to produce large amount of the grains. I talked several agricultural scientists, and they are not able to reduce even the use of the pesticides in different crops. Then what will be the solution? In my mind, there are few solutions which we can apply. We can reduce the residues of the pesticides in the food items. We can use the organic pesticides that may be either of the microbial origin or the plant origin or the cowpathy system, Panchagavya origin, in which the indigenous cow urine along with the neem leaves, it is prepared and used in the crops. It acts as a pest repellent and it is used in different areas of the country as in the organic farmings. We should, instead of using the pesticides, we can use the pest repellents, because again, while we are using the pesticides, particularly chemical pesticides, we are creating the imbalance in the nature. Several kinds of the beneficial insects are also being died because of these chemicals. So we should use the moderately the chemical pesticides or increase the use of the organic pesticides or pest repellents. And for the harmful effects of the pesticides in the human population or the animal population, we can use the antitoxic herbal preparations. There are many herbs like ashwagandha, tulsi, many others, amla, which are having such quality that enhances the immunity up to a certain level, that can be used to minimize their effects, the effects of the pesticides. Friends, you might have seen that you have used the vaccine in the animal population, and in spite of the vaccine, many times there is occurrence of the outbreak. And many times it is blamed either the veterinarian or the type of quality of the vaccine. But we never thought about the immunocompetence of the animal. In which animal we injected the vaccine, whether that animal is immunocompetent enough or it is deficient in immunity. If the animal is deficient, it will not mount sufficient immune response, that is known as protective immune response, against the vaccine used, and that is not protect the occurrence of the disease because of the deficiency, because of the problem in the immune system created by the residues of the pesticides. We can use several kinds of the immunomodulators. In allopathic system of medicine, we don't have any such immunomodulator, but in Ayurveda system, in herbal systems, yes, of course, we have several kinds of the immunomodulators. I used to have some research on ashwagandha, pipli, amla, tulsi, and prepared a formulation of Immu Plus, which is being used nowadays. Then we can use the anti-cancer preparations also in animals, in human beings, particularly in poultry. That can be used for both the purposes, for the correction of the down regulation of the immunity and for the protection of the animal body and human body. And we can use the herbal antibacterial drugs. Many of our colleagues are working on the herbal antibiotics, herbal antibacterial drugs, preparation of those drugs, because the chemical antibiotics, they are immunosuppressive in nature, and many times they create the resistance in the bacteria, and that's why they are not good. Their heavy use is not good, and in future they may not be so useful as of the herbal preparations. Similarly, the herbal antifungal drugs can be used, can be prepared. With these, some of the research work which I carried out during last 20-25 years with my experience, the harmful effects of the pesticides, of the heavy metals like cadmium, lead, mercury, arsenic, and the pesticides, organophosphates, organochlorines, carbamates, synthetic pyrethroids. These are all having some or other kind of the effect on the body that is immunosuppressive in the nature. And that immunosuppression is always harmful to the body, that leads the body for the increased susceptibility to various kinds of the infections, various kinds of the diseases, and then there may be the outbreaks of the disease, recurrent infections is there are occurrence of the new diseases, opportunistic pathogens are there, and there is increased occurrence, increased incidence of the cancers also. So in brief, I think it is from my side. I again extend my thanks to the Indian Veterinary Association, to its president, Dr. Kadyam, to Yashpal Malikji, my student and coordinator of this seminar, and looking very nice today. I have seen him, I think several months, after several months, because of this lockdown. Thank you all. And if you have any question, you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for briefing on your own work that you carried out. And still I remember you started from HAU.
Right.
That time we were just students and were not knowing much about science, but really it is very impactful now, we understand. And you have contributed a lot in that pesticide issues. And even you have reached to very important committees of the regulatory committees. And it is useful to everyone. And I could see one, Dr. Hole is there to ask some, he is having one question. Can you unmute Dr. Umesh, Dr. Hole for asking the question? Dr. Umesh? Dr. Umesh,
Yes, sir. I am unmuting.
please ask Dr. Hole.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He has put one question on pesticide.
Thank you, sir. Very nice presentation covering all the time, but all the points. But I have one small question: is that which is the notorious pesticide, insecticide at this stage now, which is carried at a very high level through the fodder to the animals. Number one, and number two, the area or the state in the India which is more affected by such type of the insecticide pesticide residue through the food, through the fodder coming into the dairy food chain.
Right. The first question about the type of the pesticide which is more commonly harmful. That's why earlier we used to thought that organochlorines were much more harmful than the organophosphates, and then carbamates, and then the synthetic pyrethroids. And when I started my research work on these aspects, I found that at that time that synthetic pyrethroids, they were considered very good at that time in comparison to all. It is a known fact that organochlorines like BSC, that are endosulfan, instead of their ban in our country, they are being used. Even DDT, that is being used in the public health operations. They are very, very dangerous. I can tell you that if you spray DDT in one room, its residual effect remains 48 years in that area. That is the harmful effect of that. And if you see all the categories of pesticides, whether it is organochlorine or synthetic pyrethroid or organophosphates, now I come to the conclusion that all are having harmful effect on the body. The area, the most agricultural important areas are Haryana, the Punjab, the part of Gujarat, part of West UP, the Andhra, the Maharashtra. They are the areas in which these pesticides are used very heavily, and their residues also comes in the grains, in the oils, in other food items, and in the fodder also. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. There is one more question from Dr. Anil Bose. And this is very good question, rather I should say, that everything is having some bad effects.
Right.
If it crosses the limit of dosing. So say, is it holds true for the herbal medications also, or we can go in any amount for herbals?
Herbs, if they are cropped in a organic manner, or they are in their natural habitat like the Himalayan regions, they are good. But like amla, it is grown like agricultural crop, and we use all kind of the chemicals in that amla. And then when you use the Chyawanprash, we will have the residual effect of those chemicals also. It is better to use the organic pesticides, the pest repellents, and what we used to have the agriculture farming before 50 years in my childhood in the villages, that is animal-based farming. And that's why our topic, animal husbandry and veterinary science, is very important in that. Because if we have the animal population in sufficient number, we can use their urine and dung for the preparation of different kinds of the organic fertilizers and organic pesticides. And that can be used in the crops in several agricultural operations. And that is one way to reduce the load of the chemical pesticides, to reduce the load of the loan on the farmers, to reduce the farmer suicide, to create an environment that the agriculture crops they are beneficial to the farmers. There may not be any negative growth. We have to have the sufficient number of the animal population so that we can use their urine and dung for the preparation of the organic pesticides and organic fertilizers.
Sir, thank you very much. And we may have more questions, but I will end with one more, taking one last question from Dr. R.S. Sethi from Gadwasu. Can you unmute Dr. Umesh, Dr. Sethi? R.S. Sethi,
Okay,
can you
sir.
unmute him to ask the question?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
Sir, thank you very much for a nice presentation. And since most of my work is on pesticide, I enjoyed your lecture. There is a question, sir. Is there any link between exposure of pesticides and development of antimicrobial resistance?
Antimicrobial resistance and exposure of pesticides.
Yes, sir.
I can't say that, sir. I have not worked in that area. I can't say about it. But certainly, these pesticides, as I told in my talk, they reduces the activity of the macrophages,
Yeah.
and they weaken the body. In that way, if you use the antibiotic drugs, particularly the bacteriostatic drugs, they may not be able to clear the system from the bacteria, and remaining bacteria, they can cause the disease even after withdrawal of the antibiotics. So that I have seen, but I have not seen any correlation in between the exposure of the pesticides and occurrence of the resistance in the bacteria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, on behalf of the IVA, and I'm thankful to you. And exactly, we have a person, Dr. Srikant from IVA, to propose a vote of thanks. So I request now Dr. Srikant to please propose the vote of thanks from IVA and WBSI.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. I am Dr. M.K. Srikant, Joint Secretary, Indian Veterinary Association. You all know very well that Indian Veterinary Association is engaging professionals with highest standard for updation of the knowledge as a part of webinars, as a part of continuing professional development program. I sincerely thank Professor R.S. Chauhan, sir, for his esteemed presence and accepting our requisition to enlighten us about environmental pollutants and their effects on human and animal health. I also sincerely thank all the participants for their keen interest and active participation in all our webinars. And I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Kadian, sir, President IVA, and all the office bearers of IVA, and also our dynamic coordinators, Dr. Yasin Malik, sir, Dr. Sontake Umesh, sir, and all their team members for organizing such a wonderful webinar. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Best wishes on this World Environment Day. And the COVID slogan, I should repeat: be safe, keep yourself safe, and keep others safe. Thank you very much, each and everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.